Okay, Mad Dog 2001. I'm back making a random video. And this is not going to be football. This will not be baseball because, you know, obviously Denver sucks. St. Louis, there's a few things that I'd like to talk about. But really, every time I put a Cardinal video on here or a Bronco video, I don't get any hits at all. I mean, the last video, I even did a controversial, like, top 32 quarterbacks, and I did my list, and I did like the first 15 or whatever. I only got 11 views on it. I have 82 subscribers, so I'm just trying to think. Maybe there's just more room. I don't know. I understand it and figure you make a top 32 list, and I didn't. That's why I didn't upload the second part because there was no comments on it or anything. I was like, all right, whatever. So, anyways, this is will be wrestling. This is probably my second favorite or third favorite hobby as far as first baseball, second football, and wrestling. But they're all pretty close. I'm real passionate about it. I've made videos in the past on it. It's been a long time, obviously, and I'm actually have been watching at least the last 4 months. So basically, I just finished watching Raw yesterday, and I did watch the Royal Rumble live. It was actually very enjoyable. But I'll go over my initial thoughts of the Rumble. And the first thing is I did not. I actually like Nexus. Unlike some other people on here, I enjoy Nexus. It's something different, something new, something. I think it's fresh. Some other people don't think so, but I think it's. I really like CM Punk as a leader, even though I do like Wade Barrett also. And I love his little thing with the core over on SmackDown. Even though they say it's equals, they're equals, but we all know it's Wade Barrett's the leader. But I liked how the Royal Rumble started off with CM Punk coming down, entry number 1. When I saw him come in at entry 1, the first thing that came to my head was Chris Jericho. I think it was 2004, 2003, when he was in the ring for a long time. I knew Punk was going to be in there for a while. I knew he wasn't going to win though, but they were going to book him like they booked Jericho in 03, I believe it was, or 02, whatever. But you guys know, I remember when Jericho came in at 1 and Michaels was 2. They kind of did the same thing here, and we saw CM Punk versus Bryan Danielson, and this was awesome. I'm not a big fan of ROH. I really don't watch ROH at all. I do follow it a little bit, but I don't really watch it. I don't really have time. But so I've heard a lot about Bryan Danielson, CM Punk. I do own a couple ROH DVDs, so I'm not like one of those haters that never watched it. But I'm not a hater either. I just not interested in it. It was interesting how they put those two together, and the internet fans probably were like, jizzing their pants watching that. But it got interesting. Then you had Nexus together, and I liked that. And they kind of dominated the way to the Rumble, and I'm like, there's no way, there's just no way that one guy can come in there and clear the ring. I mean, I was waiting for Cena, but what Cena should have did. And I would have been okay with it. I did not like how Cena came down and pretty much buried Nexus. I hated that. What I would have done, and this is how I would have booked it, I would have had John Cena come down, and instead of start going like this, like he's gonna, I'm smart, I'm gonna outsmart you guys. Instead of running down there like a frickin' behemoth gorilla and overthrow it, which is totally unrealistic, is have him wait the 2 extra minutes or the minute and a half, whatever, and have it be Randy Orton or something like that, even though I don't believe he should have been in the Rumble to begin with, but have it be somebody that has a little bit of a feud with Nexus, or even Wade Barrett. How cool would that have been if Wade Barrett came down and then Cena and Barrett just kind of went, like, alright, it's us versus them, let's do it, and they run down. And that Wade Barrett would actually got a little bit of a face pop, because obviously it would have been okay. I mean, obviously it wouldn't. And then as soon as they got eliminated, Barrett bitch slapped Cena or whatever. That would have been totally fine instead of having Cena run down there and just bury Nexus like he's done, like he did at TLC, like he's been doing since pretty much the feud has happened. The only good person out of there is CM Punk, just like it was Wade Barrett. So I don't know. I don't know what their plan is with Nexus or the new Nexus, which is completely stupid. Just call it Nexus. Don't quit calling it the new Nexus. Pretty soon it's going to be compared to the New Deal, and we still call it the New Deal, and the New Deal's like over 60 years old. So yeah, fuck that shit. So and also and then Hornswoggle comes out, and I don't like this guy. Some people say that he should be fired, and I'm not going to say he should be fired, but there's no reason for him to be in the Royal Rumble. No reason at all. There's other guys you could have thrown in there besides Hornswoggle that would have, especially during that time when you had Cena and Punk, and that would have been a great time to bring out Wade Barrett, because then it would have been like, okay, Wade Barrett hates Punk, Wade Barrett hates Cena hates both of them, and Punk hates both of them. So I mean, that would have been okay. Then you could have left Punk in there a little bit longer, and then it's just stupid how they booked that. And then Tyson Kidd comes down and gets FU'd by Hornswoggle. What the fuck is he doing? Me and my roommate were watching at Roll Mines in Milwaukee, and I wanted to leave. I'm like, I just don't want to watch this anymore, because I was getting pissed with the whole Hornswoggle thing. And as soon as Sheamus came down, thank you, Sheamus, you saved the Rumble from being awful. You came down, you kicked Hornswoggle in the head, and he was done. Then the Royal Rumble picked and got serious again. That's when I, got into it a little bit. And Alberto Del Rio ends up winning the Rumble. I'm completely okay with it. It's kind of random, but I'm okay with it. So, we go into Raw. And I'm going to skip the next week because I'm like a week behind. So, we're going to go to this past Monday. Or the week before, and you had Jerry Lawler announced to be fighting The Miz at Elimination Chamber. And those who have seen my videos in the past, I hate Jerry Lawler. I hate him as an announcer. I hate him as a wrestler. I hate him as a legend. In my mind, he's not a legend. And I actually watched the top 50 superstars of all time, and that's going to be saved for a different video. And Jerry Lawler was ranked 20. Are you fucking kidding me? What has this guy done that puts him at 20? Besides, he's a better announcer than he is wrestler, in my opinion. And he's 60. Maybe in the past he was good for the past, but I'm not a big fan of 80s wrestling or a big fan of early 90s wrestling. So the whole fact that Jerry Lawler was ranked 20 and then he's going to be fighting The Miz at Elimination Chamber, and for some strange reason, I think he's going to win. I honestly think he's going to win that match. I think Jerry Lawler's going to win the match. I don't think he's going to go into Mania as champion. I think he's going to drop it back to The Miz either next week on Raw or the week after, but because I think they're going to do something with Jerry Lawler, and I think JR might be coming back at Mania. They might do a JR and Jerry Lawler versus Alex Riley and Michael Cole. I think they might do something like that. That could be somewhat interesting, actually. Oh, I want to touch on Michael Cole. And I said in a video like last year that Michael Cole needs to go. I'm going to give Michael Cole some credit here. Michael Cole, I think he knew that people were hating him because he's annoying, and he used that to create this character. And I think he had a lot to do with it. That he created his own character, and he's a heel announcer, and quite frankly, he's been one of the better heel announcers probably since JBL, who I think is my favorite heel announcer ever is JBL. So the fact that he's used that and he's turned into a very, I love the whole thing with the Divas, how he just took them as a joke. He introduced Natalia, and he's just kind of like, not that any, we kind of want to know what you're thinking, even though none of us really care what you think on the show, because no one really cares about women's wrestling. And I thought that was great when he said that. It was like a big shot down. And then R-Truth comes out and says, "Oh, Green Bay!" And he's like, "You're in Milwaukee, you idiot." And then King says something stupid like, "It's right down the road." And no, it's not right down the road. Green Bay is like 3 hours. I think it's like 2.5, 3 hours away from Milwaukee. That's not down the road. That's a road. That's just like going into Los Angeles and saying hello Oakland, and people saying it's the same thing just because it's in the same state. Now, even though Milwaukee fans and Green Bay fans are pretty much, they all like the same teams. I mean, I'm from the Milwaukee area. I don't live in Milwaukee, but I am like literally about 20 minutes away from it. And the fans are the same as far as they like all the same teams. But that's no excuse to come into Milwaukee and say, hello Green Bay, especially after they won the Super Bowl. And you could tell the fans didn't like that at all. They were chanting Milwaukee. Props to Milwaukee fans for doing that. I know we've had our differences, and I don't get along with Packer and Brewer fans, but you made our city look good by chanting Milwaukee. Awesome. So, with that said, Raw overall was okay. I don't like the way they're booking The Miz. Either booking him as a coward, and this has been done so many times before when a younger, smaller guy becomes champion. They did it with they kind of did it with Jack Swagger. They did it with it just seems like the guys that win the Money in the Bank they win the title and then they lose the belt and then they're de-pushed right away. That's just doesn't make any sense to me. They did it with Swagger, they did it with Punk originally, and then Punk turned heel, and now he's finally a main eventer. Thank God, because I think Punk is great. He's like he's probably my favorite wrestler right now in WWE is CM Punk. And yeah, I mean overall, I like what WWE is kind of trying to do. I can understand it. I was wondering why Undertaker or Triple H didn't return at the Rumble. I also heard Sting might be coming in WWE. I don't like Sting either, so I mean, like, as far as him wrestling Undertaker at Mania, I don't think anybody really, I mean, people care, but I don't want to see Wade Barrett versus Taker, which is the rumored match. I'd like, I don't know, Taker Kane, I guess, would be a filler. I think Barrett should be ready next year to face Taker. But this is stupid that they put these young guys, or even older guys, to face Taker when everyone knows Taker's going to win. I mean, isn't that the enjoyment of watching a pro wrestling match if you don't know who's going to win? I mean, really, the in-ring work is great to an extent, but if you already know the outcome, why would you even watch the match? I mean, kind of that's one of the reasons why I watch. I like to see the outcome. Anyways, this is Mad Dog 2001. I might make another one tonight, so stay tuned.